Okay, so this is our third video. Um, Again, we're focusing on our focus question. Why do you think the author used different types of paper for different text feature boxes throughout the book? We've discussed that a couple times now. We see that he uses different types of paper just so that each text feature will stand out and we'll know the difference between each type of text feature. For example, the captions are on a different type of paper than, say, just the regular text. Okay, so let's try to finish on this one. We have one more vocab word. We have 3 more pages. Let's see what we can get done.
George Staples. George Staples was born in England. As the oldest son in his family, he went to the United States to seek his fortune. Meanwhile, his parents raised the money for the rest of the family to follow. In 1848, George headed west from Illinois with a group of Mormon pioneers. He was only 14 years old. George grew sick on the road. His fellow travelers did not want to stop and wait for George to recover, so they left him with a local fur trapper.
Wow. Imagine being only 14 years old on the road heading west and then getting sick. So everyone says, okay, you got to stay behind with a stranger. I'd be scared if that were me.
Between 1846 and 1869, about 70,000 people followed the Mormon Trail. Helping Hand. The trapper whom George stayed with was friendly with a tribe of American Indians called the Sioux. Using herbal cures from local plants, a Sioux woman nursed George back to health.
All right, so at least that's good for George. Even though he was 14 and young and probably scared and sick, at least he stayed with friendly people from the Sioux Indian tribe who helped him get healthy again. Our vocab word on this page is the word fortune. We've probably heard this word before. He wanted to go to the United States to seek his fortune. What a fortune is just a large amount of money. So he was trying to find probably gold or to just start a new life there, maybe a new business or something as a young businessman.
Life among the Sioux. George soon grew well. He wanted to return to his people, but the Sioux could not understand his language. They cared for George and treated him as one of their own. As time passed, George began to enjoy his new life. He dressed in Sioux clothing and followed the Sioux's ways.
So he became kind of one of them.
In the mid-1800s, American Indians made their clothing from plants and animal skins. They sometimes used feathers and shells for decoration.
Cool.
Daily life. In the mid-1850s, young American Indian boys played with toy bows and arrows and rode fake horses. They also played a game called shinny, which was like hockey. Players used wooden sticks to push a ball into a goal.
So you see different text features have different types of paper, which lets us tell them apart.
The Lost Boy Found. By 1850, George's father, James, had arrived in Salt Lake. He heard stories from travelers who had seen a white boy living with the Sioux. Finally, a group of settlers went looking for George. When the young boy saw his father, he ran into his arms.
That's awesome that he found his father.
American Indian life seemed strange to the new settlers. George never forgot his Sioux mother, and he visited her often. As a man, he wrote treaties, agreements between the Mormons and the local Indian tribes.
So when George grew up, he actually became good friends with all the local Indian tribes, the Sioux, because he really admired them because they helped him. They helped him when he grew sick, when he was heading west, when he was just a kid. And, he had like a Sioux mother in a sense. It wasn't his actual mother, but she took care of him and she cared for him. So he really thought very highly of the Sioux Indian people. We have one more video after this and we'll do our vocab notes. So make sure you get your notebook out before you start your next video.